Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Adam Vox, and welcome to Nifty Under 50, Episode 3. This one we've got a kind of random barrage of items, but that's okay because it's the holiday season, and if you're like me, you want to buy anything you can. Maybe not. First up, we have another product from One by One. I actually kind of like the stuff they put out. This one is a Bluetooth LED light bulb. Bluetooth light bulb. It can't be lit by Bluetooth, unfortunately, but you can control it by Bluetooth. It still needs your light socket, obviously. I've actually been using this for some of my B-roll for product shots, and so I actually had to unscrew it to actually record this video. But it's a pretty interesting concept. You just screw it in your light socket like you would a normal light bulb, and it powers up and emits a Bluetooth connection that you connect to through their app. Now, their app isn't the best thing in the world. You do need to scan the QR code to actually just download an APK file to install it. And it's not in Google Play or anything like that. So I would definitely recommend they get that set up because that makes it very user-friendly to set up. But concept-wise, it has a Bluetooth speaker around the ring and then an LED bulb at the top. And that's pretty neat. You can customize it with a wide spectrum of colors to make it, you can pick the exact, little point of color that you want. You don't just have to pick basic red, blue, green, anything like that. You can shade it and things like that. The app isn't super, like I said, it's not super user-friendly. It can be kind of finicky, but if you just say, you want it to be red and play music, it'll do that. And the music part's actually the best part about this light bulb, as it does a really good job. It actually sounds really nice for what it is. I was expecting that to be the weakest part of the light bulb, and it's actually what I like the best. And with how my lampshade works, that it comes up around it, it actually acts as kind of an amplifier for the music. So then it really makes it make music in the room. The Bluetooth range on it is actually really great. That's something I complain about a lot with Bluetooth products, is that the range isn't great at all. I can go all the way across my apartment and still have Bluetooth connection, control the light bulb and everything like that. This is the only Bluetooth product I've used that does so, and so I'm going to write that up to it being that it's literally getting full wall power, but that may not be true. Minor complaints are that it's not the brightest thing in the world. It's not going to light up a room by any means. It just kind of provides like a little accent light, but still a pretty cool concept nonetheless. Next up, we have a bi-directional HDMI switch from Intey. I'm not sure how you pronounce their company name, but it's a HDMI switch that actually goes both ways, if you know what I mean. What I mean is, you can either have two inputs going to one output if you only have one HDMI input in your video or on your monitor, and you need to hook two sources up to it. You can use that and then switch between your two HDMI sources, or if you need to split it, which is very, very useful for game streamers and YouTubers, that kind of live streamers, that kind of stuff. I have plenty of HDMI splitters in my setup, and I've covered them in the past in previous videos. It can also take one input and split it to two different outputs, such as your monitor and your capture card, etc. And it's really cool that it does both. It's a pretty flexible product that actually is very handy to just kind of, not necessarily, you don't need to go out and grab this and immediately implement this in, in situation X or situation B. But it is something to have very useful on hand, and for messing with my setup and setting up various things, it's actually been very handy to have for me. It is super small, easy to hide in any part of your setup, which is very convenient, just a little small black box. It has a very clicky button. It is I don't know, something about it is very satisfying. Like overall, if you're talking about a switch, it may be kind of mushy, but something about just pressing the button to switch between modes is very just satisfying. And it doesn't require any wall power. Most HDMI splitters require wall power, which they usually come with a very tiny cable and an obnoxious power brick to hook up. This one doesn't require any at all. So you can literally just take some adhesive strips or hot glue, put it up under your setup, run the wires where you need them to go, and it will make your setup a lot more flexible. Next up is a product that I've never really thought about reviewing before, but another one that's actually been useful for my B-roll, and that is another One by One product, a stage light. It is an LED stage light from One by One, and it's very, very cheap. It's set up to, it even has the basic, light stand clamp to actually set up on a stage, though the cable is super short. It's only like 2 feet long, so you're gonna need extension cables. But it is a pretty cool setup. It has the full, professional DMX input control setup, so it has an in and an output with pass-through to run to, multiple devices or a DMX control board. And no, this is not XLR cable, even though it looks like the XLR inputs. You cannot use XLR cables with it. And then it has a 256-bit switch on the back to switch between different lighting patterns. Unfortunately, they don't include any sort of guide to learn how to control this or anything like that. You have to learn online or have previous stage light experience. But if you're just wanting a specific effect, it's actually pretty cool to set up. And like I said, I've used this for B-roll and shots as well, as a little colored lighting goes a long way to making your video shots look pretty good. Or you can use it for parties, haunted houses, dance parties, what have you, or on a stage as it's kind of intended for. It does have a removable fuse on the back as well. The power cable is not removable, however. It's about 4.5 inches in diameter and 3 inches deep, which makes it pretty small to hide up in corners or in the rafters or wherever you're going to set it up to actually, provide light. And so it's not going to be blatantly obvious where your light is coming from. I've actually set it up behind my monitor before to just kind of shine up lights like an LED strip. Kind of cool. One other thing that I wanted to point out that I was kind of impressed by is it had no dead LEDs when I got my unit, and it hasn't had any the whole time I've used it. And that's something I've run into a lot with very cheap LED panel products like this with the bigger, cheaper LEDs, is that they die very quickly. I bought a whole LED kit for my camera to provide better light for my videos. It worked great for about a day, and then the LEDs actually started dying, and that's what happens when you buy cheap stuff sometimes. But this one has not had any dead LEDs. They all show all the colors perfectly and shine very, very bright. Next up, we have the Vivant 5000 milliamp hour battery bank. And yes, I know, I've probably said battery bank on this channel one too many times. Battery bank, battery bank, battery bank, battery bank. But like I said in my previous battery bank video, I'm actually a little bit more excited to receive these now, as it's very interesting to do a serious comparison of these to see what changes they actually make. And that's what I've done in a totally separate video on my channel, which I'll link in the description below and in the YouTube card and all that jazz, in that they all have various just minor design differences that can make the difference of whether or not you actually want to use it, which is kind of cool. This one is 5,000 milliamp hour capacity, has 1 amp out and 2.1 amp out, two USB ports to charge 2 devices at once. Tablet, smartphone, 2 smartphones, anything that charges by USB pretty much, and then the micro USB in the middle to charge it. Pretty standard layout, but it has a very premium and sleek design. It's got a aluminum-esque kind of like rough metal middle to it, which feels really nice. There's no flex to it. There's no really good build. It's really good build quality. It looks really nice. And my only complaint is that these top bits, the silver grayish bits, are actually plastic instead of metal as well. But that much metal probably would cost a lot. But it looks really good, and it actually looks like an iPhone itself, which is kind of funny. But it looks like an iPhone itself. So if you want a charger for your iPhone that looks like your iPhone, go for it. It's got a button on the side to show LEDs for how much capacity is left in the battery before you need to charge it again. 4 LEDs. I was able to get about 2 charges in my Galaxy Note 5 out of 1 charge of this battery bank, which isn't too bad. Doesn't take long to charge at all. That's one of my biggest complaints about battery banks, is how long they take themselves to charge, but it didn't take long at all to charge it back up. So it's a great, really portable option. It's going to be smaller than your phone, which is always a good thing. So I'll also put a link to the full review in the description below, in which I actually include a giveaway of one of these as well. They sent me 2, 1 to give away. So if you want to win yourself a free one before you try to order, check the link. Lastly, at number 5. Lastly, at number 5, we have some Blue Key World cable drops. And cable drops aren't the, newest concept in the world, but if you get the official cable drops ones, they can actually be a little bit more expensive. These are generic ones, which still work really great from Blue Key World. And again, all these product links will be in the description below, ideally depending on availability for US, UK, and Canada. Links in the description. And these are really great for cable management, especially on sides of desks and desk stands, on sides of monitors, on your walls if you don't mind sticking stuff to your walls. A lot of people do really cool stuff with these. And it's just a little circle with an adhesive backing to it. You peel off the back and stick it somewhere, and then it has enough to run either 2 like small cables, like 3.5 millimeter audio cables. You could run 2 or 3 of those through the loop, or just one basic size cable for your USB cables, things like that, just to keep your cables going where you like. Just a very simple concept, just clips for your cables to get them to go where you want. Seems silly, but it's actually extremely convenient for cable management. My only word of advice is to don't try to stick them up under, like on the underside of your desk. In a lot of cases, depending on the type of material your desk is, they won't actually stay stuck. It has really good adhesive and it'll stay stuck forever on like sides and stuff, but at least on the surfaces of desks I've used, I've had a lot of trouble keeping them, stuck under there. If you really want to get something stuck on the underside of your desk, I recommend hot glue. But for sides, for monitors, for walls, anything that's not just completely upside down fighting 100% against gravity, they'll do great. So that's been it for episode 3 of Nifty Under 50. 5 products that are under $50 that I think would be pretty cool to own or that I recommend based on my reviews and experiences. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I have a few other videos like this that aren't Nifty Under 50 because some of the products are well over $50 that are holiday gift idea videos. And so those will be going up on the channel over the next month or so, and if any are up before this one, linked will be in the description below, but make sure you're subscribed for those. Otherwise, my name's been Adam Repos Fox, and I will see you in the next video. Something like that.